Hello, welcome back to the Stanley Parable. Continuing forward, okay, there is a way we can... Hold on, who's on the phone now?
Good morning. Thank you for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation. We are confirming your shipment of 1,327 cardboard boxes to your place of work.
What?
Can you verify that this is correct?
How do I do that?
Excellent.
Oh.
Your order will arrive shortly. Thank you again for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation.
You're welcome. What am I gonna do with all those boxes? Let's see. Any other consoles in here that have that awaiting input? No, I don't think so. However, there's something we should be able to climb up on one of these desks. Do we have to run into it a certain way? You can't actually jump. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, now let's, I think we need to... No, that's not how you do it. Oh, there we go. Okay, now get up and over. Didn't realize it was going to be this complex. Okay, okay. Can we get up onto that other desk there? Should be able to. Do I have to... what was the right... Okay. Now... Oh, no, that was way off. Getting a little... turning a certain way to... Okay. And now... no. Okay, now get over there. What did I have to do to... Oh, there we go. I just had to crouch. And then... Whee! Out the window.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map, until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes.
Oh,
so,
you cheeky
now
developers.
That you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be?
Yeah, it is.
Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in?
Yes.
Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Nah, keep it going.
Then in that case, we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time.
Yes.
What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other option so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers.
Well, let's do that then. Yes, since you have built up the other options so very much.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Wait,
what could it mean?
What's with all the boxes? Oh my God! You did ship them.
Simply missed a memo.
You did ship us the boxes. Oh, now I can't get over there. You son of a bitch. Okay, fine. We'll go do another ending and then come back to this one. Good God! What do we need so many cardboard boxes for?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art.
Yes.
What was it about this room that called so deeply and so personally to Stanley? Its grace, its subtle charm? No. Stanley knew it was something deeper, something darker.
Oh.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside, to let her back into your life.
Her?
She's been waiting.
Oh.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Okay. Oh.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting.
Oh.
I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven.
We're home.
Oh.
We're also 427, though?
Okay, there we go.
Oh.
All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Huh? What?
Gotcha.
Fuck you, narrator.
Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley.
Oh.
I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Bite me.
Sorry, but you're in my story now.
Narrator.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
What? Good morning, employee 427. Press P on your keyboard. What if I don't want to? Huh? How about that? No, I think I have to.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Press K.
Look at him there,
Huh?
pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do.
Where'd
Now
that
he's
desk come
pushing a
from?
button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Press I.
But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
It's cute to watch TV.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Spend time with the boys.
So he went further.
Oh.
He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Or to prepare dinner.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
We haven't actually seen those other 2 yet, so thanks for spoiling, narrator.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Press 6 to be at work in the morning. I'm not doing it. But again, I think I have to.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
See to question nothing.
I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again.
Please
Stanley
die.
pushed a button. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Well then. That one was actually kind of depressing.
A soft wind blew outside and perhaps rain started, and if it did, it stopped shortly after. Stanley hoped that he would one day see weather.
Well, at least those boxes are gone, so let's get back up here and see if we can crawl out the window one more time.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map, until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Yes.
Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just hit escape and restart the game any old time you want. Like right now. You could have done it just then. Now would also be an appropriate time to quit. Any of these points and so many, many more, all of them are appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going on where you are literally unable to act on your own desires to restart the game. So, just to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and see how long you can maintain.
Okay. What are you doing?
There once was a man named Stanley.
Really, narrator?
Who people considered so manly. But the truth must be told, he was not very old and was quite particularly gangly. What Stanley liked most was buttons. He pushed them like some kind of glutton. He did it all day in a meaningful way, but his brain had long ceased to function. Which is why he is in this parable and lives an existence quite terrible. And if you are not strong and keep playing along, you too will become quite unbearable. You too will become quite unbearable.
I think he's just gonna continue with this until we finally had enough.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, let's,
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Of course, the almighty employee lounge.
In this incredible room, Stanley for the first time understood true happiness. Then the feeling went away, and he felt sad again.
Aww.
Then it came back, and lingered for a minute or two. Now it's only half there. Just a kind of, tingle.
Huh.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Okay, let's take that door.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Or maybe...
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no. No, it's to the right. My mistake.
Narrator.
No, not the right.
Stop dicking with me.
Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Oh, God.
Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Are you sure? You positive this time? Okay.
No, no.
Here.
No. This
Why are we here?
At all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning.
What?
And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Okay, if you say so. Jeez.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley... Wait.
Huh?
Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Or did something change?
Oh.
Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors?
What could I have...
move the story somewhere or...
How could I have done...
Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story.
Yeah.
It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay then. It's an adventure.
Ooh.
Come, Stanley.
Oh.
Let's find the story.
Oh, well then, well then rather than go through those, let's see what's... I want to see what's through these doors. Man, this is... What kind of office building is this place? Oh, is it looping?
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again?
Not yet.
I
Let's
find it
just...
unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again.
Yeah.
It's got to be better than this.
Oh.
Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Oh, ugh. Come on, narrator.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from.
Okay.
Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Good idea. Let's do that.
Aha!
Oh.
I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait.
Oh, we're
never
just
mind.
going in...
Not
What?
the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and
Okay.
retrace our steps.
Okay. The
Now
hell?
Well, I'll
The
be honest,
hell
I
are
don't
we
recognize
now?
this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building.
Yeah.
Is
This looks
that correct?
decrepit. A little
Do you
creepy,
remember,
in
Stanley?
fact.
Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job.
Thanks.
Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all.
No?
We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is.
Yeah,
Don't
me
care
too.
what might happen this time, I have to restart.
Ugh.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line.
Okay.
How simple is that?
Alright, fine. Hold my hand through all this.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Whoa, 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 whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Oh! Okay, very epic music going on here.
Cut the music.
Huh?
Go back and look at that fern.
What?
Stanley,
This fern?
This fern will be very important later in the story.
Are you sure?
Make sure you study it closely. And remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
If you say so. I think you're trolling me on this, though. Again.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell? Oh,
we're back here!
Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Well, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Again? Seriously?
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right?
Well, you're right about
Why can't
that.
we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Oh. Okay.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be?
Okay, how
Go
is it...
wild.
How
Use
is the
your
hall
imagination.
working this way?
Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
Okay.
Oh,
What?
no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Okay.
Ah,
Oh.
a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In
Indeed.
fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So
You say
starting
so.
from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Alright.
Oh, hold up,
What?
what's this?
The confusion ending?
The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really... No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait, you know. I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime...
What? What? He well then. Does it restart like it did before?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
No,
No
that...
matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
No, that actually was the, ending of that.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Actually, I think I'm gonna take...
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Is there an awaiting input? Yes! There we go.
Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Quelle surprise. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Nah.
Although this passageway had the word Escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
You're bluffing.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Uh-huh.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Right. Oh crap, what was that?
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life.
Oh, shit. Shit.
Farewell, Stanley,
What?
cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly
Who are
into
you?
enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body.
Another
killing
narrator?
him instantly.
Well then. Oh. What the hell?
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Deep. And now we're in like a museum here, which is sort of like the this ending is sort of like your traditional game dev ending, actually showing a lot of development stuff here. This blueprint shows the office. In the beginning of the game, the path from Stanley's office to the two doors was the first part that was built. Sections have been added and altered throughout the development. The core layout remains almost identical. Pacing was important to get right. The corridor has been moved and altered to make sure the player reaches the two doors in a good time. The office computers. One's got solitaire. Button sounds. Each sound is a mix of a keyboard stroke and a synthesized tone. Ah, they put the credits right here too. So, great job on this, everybody. Kevin Brighting is our narrator. The office clock. Boss's office. Screams from the development of the office. Okay, is this the... Wait, no, I don't think this leads to the ending. Narration outtakes. Kevin Brighting, the voice of the narrator, recorded dialogue for the entire game roughly 3 separate times over the 2 years of development. These are clips from the early takes that weren't used in the final game. I can barely hear him. Oh. Early version of the underground portion. Mind control and the escape route. First incarnation of the freedom ending. Oh. One of the deaths from an early version of the countdown. Freedom ending in the beta. Oh, I see it. Does that all close up when I get close to it? Modern elevator. For a time it could go up or down with freedom above and countdown below. Abandonment players found it too difficult to remember what was up and what was down and place the two together instead. Yeah, that's the exit there. But you can look around a bit more. Early version of the countdown room. Game design mock-up. Strength is a little bit higher design. Okay. Like I said, the game started out as a Half-Life mod, but then got completely revamped into its own standalone game. From left to right, the evolution of Stanley's office. First was created in November of 2011, 2nd March 2012, 3rd in February 2013. Narrator's emails. After the second trailer we sent out, we asked people to email the narrator for questions. While we initially planned to use these in further promotional materials, we never found the perfect use for them. Here are a selection of those emails. Are you gay? Wow, that's good question. Dead strong Pat. How do you type with boxing gloves on? For instance, on a scale of Max Ernst to Salvador Dali, how surreal will this game be? Were you born with a magnificent voice, or did you bargain with a magician to receive it? Finally, what's Stanley's last name? Congratulations. In line with our previous announcement regarding the first reply your website. Okay. Will the game feature capybaras? I don't think it did. There's a skeleton inside you. There are more skeletons in this world than humans. Thanks and goodbye. What do the lights in the control room do? I really want to know. Montgomery Jones. That is the question on everybody's mind, I think. You're talking about how you type with boxing gloves. Oh my god. In the previous version of the choice leading the apartment ending, a timer would give you 15 seconds to pick up the phone. Not picking up the phone would lead to a different ending. There is another way you could access a different ending in that room, though, but we will cross that bridge when we get to it. The flow of the hallways following the first two doors was important to get right, since players will replay them so many times. Discuss a number of designs, but ultimately it's the simplest version that won out. Interesting. One even had you crawling through a vent to get to the maintenance room. Sending Mo. For many iterations, room represents the fourth version of the ending we thought was complete, decided to abandon it and change it again shortly before launch.